about, trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just a scout? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. Hello on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. That was a great sounds of Wata on WNHH 103.5 FM New Haven. So nice, I got to say it twice. Myself, Preston, with my partner in crime, Long Island Rays, Elm City made, Mr. EZ BlueZ. Easy, who do we have with us on the program today?
You know, in our darkest times, it is that ray of sunshine, that brightness, that proof that spring is coming, that is so super important. And when you can have someone to sit there and paint that picture for you and give you that type of rest and solace in those moments, it is truly an honor. So I want you to put your hands together. Not if you're driving. If you're driving, please keep your hands at 10 and 2 because we don't need any accidents. But mentally, I want you to put your hands together for the fantastic, the amazing, the incredible Charnika Robinson from Haven Memorable Flowers.
Charnika, how are you?
I'm good. How's everyone doing?
Doing excellent. I love your energy.
That's great. Yes. We are in the building. What they say, we are outside and we are on the scene. We're here.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Yes, we are. What inspired you to do Haven Memorial Flowers?
Well, I always like the memorial side of things. It started when I was about 18. I wanted to be a mortician and all that good stuff. And then I wanted to sell caskets. And then I said, you know what? I'm getting older. I don't have time to be lifting caskets. So I decided to just do the flowers arrangements. And I realized how people wasting money. So I wanted to educate people and start.
What made you want to educate people?
When I realized that in the time of mourning, we go off of emotions. We start making arrangements off of emotions. And then we sit back after all the dust is settled. We say, why did we get this? Or why did we spend so much money on that? Why did we do all of this? You know? And it's like a split second when one of our loved ones pass away. We have a split second to try to make arrangements. Right. And in those arrangements, you want the best for your loved one. You're not thinking about the money until the bill come about 2 months later. You're like, why? I could have just had a simple funeral.
And so much is going through your head too.
Yes.
You know, you're not really be able to think and make the rational and also like responsible decisions when you're just going through a tough time. Was there a personal experience with loss, if I could barely speak, that shaped your vision for this business?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Just the community, just watching money and watching how we don't save as much as a community. We go, like I said, we go off of emotions. And it's just sad that we go off of emotions because it's like when you start a job and they throw you into that job and you're like, you know what? Okay, here's your fast track training. Now you're on the ear and now start working. It's the same thing with funerals. You get a call, your loved one died, and you got about 3 or 4 days to make it happen.
Yeah. It's one of the most intense moments of your lives. I've been through it in several different forms and ages as it's happened, and it's all super quick, and you barely have a second to breathe, and they're asking you all these questions that you don't care about answering because all you want is your loved one back.
Exactly.
And, you know, so all you're thinking about is how did we get here? What's going to be? And people are like, yeah. Like I remember a couple hours after my mom passed away, the hospital called to see if we wanted to donate her organs.
Exactly.
Like, this is not the right time to talk to me. I'm not in a very talkative mood right now.
Exactly.
You know, so I completely love the fact that you're doing this as a business.
Exactly. Then the medical examiners, depending on how the person die, and then the funeral directors and who's going to come pick up the body. And it just are ongoing. And then you make the arrangements at the funeral home. And depending on your insurance policy, that's how they start offering you different packages. And then by the time that package is done with, you have a $30,000 or $40,000 or maybe a $50,000 package. You know, those caskets prices of the showing and viewing of what they have going to start high. And so and then the money's gone. Yeah. You know, and it's redundant of it's supposed to be left over for at least for generational wealth. We don't have to spend the whole entire insurance plan on the funeral, and people do it, and they have nothing left over, which that's supposed to get them to the next hurdle. Start businesses with the leftover money, pay your mortgage, pay your car note, save it, make it in stocks, or do whatever you have to do, and just do the minute, because it's not going to bring, unfortunately, it's not going to bring the loved one back. All these extravagant funerals is not going to bring the loved one back. Only thing you made rich was the company.
Right.
Right. For dealing with people with such a tough time, what other ways you can talk to people about time management when it comes to dealing with the loved one? Because it's hard. It's really hard. Just your brain processing, different emotions coming through. And also, it's not just yourself. It's the other people that affected that loss too. Because it's not just yourself that's grieving with those other people as well around you that's facing that as well too. What are some ways that you can have people to be more calm, which I'm trying to say? I just don't want to overextend my question.
No worries. So I believe it's a culture thing. Not even a culture, a state thing as well. If you look at Louisiana, what they do, they partying in the street when a loved one passed away. So it's more of what you was taught. So what you taught is how you're going to live, and how you live is how you're going to take it, and how you take it is how you're going to receive it. So if you taught to mourn over a loved one and not rejoice of their rebirth, that's how you're going to take it. So I try to tell people, look at it on the flip side. Look at it through like Louisiana eyes. Look at it through other countries where they worship him and celebrate in this rebirth. We don't celebrate mourning at Haven Memorable Flowers. We celebrate rebirth, and we try to teach people rebirth. They're going. The UI company not calling them. The cable people not calling. They sorry for us. They looking down on us like, oh boy, I don't have to pay that cable bill, that car note bill, that mortgage bill, that property taxes, that car taxes. So I try to teach people that look at rebirth, because they're not gone. This is just a vessel. That's all it is. Our spirit is within us. That spirit lasts forever. This is flesh. It's going to deteriorate. So I try to teach people, just look at the rebirth, because they're still here with us. They're here with us all the time. And sometimes we say, oh, I see the shadow, or I smell the fragrance, or certain things that remind me of my mom or my dad or my grandmother or my cousin or my aunt or my sister or my brother. That's because they're still here. That spirit is still here. So I try to teach people, don't look at the mourning part. Try not to mourn. We human, yes. But let's rephrase it. Let's rethink our mindsets. We have to rethink our mindsets of rebirth, not mourning.
How does your own personal faith or spirituality influence the work you do?
Exactly what little things I just stated. I love when people come across my path, because if I can help someone think differently, on the flip side, where people be like, you know what? I never thought about it like that. I'm going to go through my mourning phases, but you know what? I'm not going to get stuck in my mourning phases. I'm going to worship them. I'm going to celebrate their loved one. I'm going to put things around the house. I'm going to play their favorite music. I'm going to party. I'm going to act like they're still here. I'm not going to mourn. No more mourning. No longer mourning, but for a phase. Like I said, we're human, but let it be just for a little phase, but rejoice, rebirth, and be happy that they don't no longer have to pay bills. America have us just working 1,000 jobs just to survive.
For real.
So
no lies detected.
Seriously, we better be happy for just that they no longer have to go through that phase of everything.
And they won the Bills game. If they really look at it, they won the Bills game because they don't have to pay anymore.
Exactly. I'm telling you, like they're like, ooh, I don't know why y'all won. I'm crying for y'all. Like seriously.
What does the name Haven Memorial Flowers mean to you personally?
Well, Haven is because we have Fairhaven, New Haven, West Haven, Haven. So that's where the Haven came from. Memorable is because we're always going to remember our loved ones, because we only specialize in memorial, burials, and funeral. We don't specialize in proms, only strictly memorials. We only do funerals because we like to teach people. We like to be there. Flowers enlighten people. They lift people up. The vibrant, the colors, and then it helps people for the simple fact, our company, we rent our flowers. We have over about 30 different settings, and we teach people. We go in to the funeral and we stage it for them. The only people that know that the flowers are rented is us, the family, and the funeral home. It's all for show. When we do things in the flowers and stuff like that, it's all for show. And a lot of times when you go into the florist or you get these different packages, you end up paying about $800-900, about $300 or between $300 to $600 just for the spray that goes on top of the casket, and that's not even including the parts that's around the casket. So you pay a lot of money just for the flowers. And then you have about an hour and a half and a 2-hour service, if that, before you swept up to the burial, bury the person. And if the funeral directors have the casket spray, the flowers that go on top of the casket, they bury that. That's the purpose of me saying, stop burying your money.
Right.
You paid about $800 to $1,000. I'm gonna say a minimum $800 to bury it for 2 hours, just for show.
Right. Right.
Just for show. It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense.
I mean, it goes all the way back to when the Pharisees would pass away and their entire staff would go with them. All of their followers would be buried in the same sort of sarcophagus that they were in, and all this, and then to try to make this vast statement. I remember the floral aspects of it, because people are asking me, someone who could care less, and at the moment I cared even less than less.
Seriously.
They're like, "What do you want to do with these flowers?" I was like, "Burn them. I don't care."
Exactly.
What am I going to do with a horseshoe, shaped floral thing that says, "Wish you were here"? I don't.
Yep, exactly. And you're stuck with them. And then don't let the people donate the rest of the flowers. It's like, oh my goodness, now I'm stuck with more flowers.
Yeah, exactly. Flowers and extra dishes. You always have extra dishes.
Exactly.
Everyone came over and made you a casserole. I don't know where y'all are from, but where I'm from, you get a casserole. 9 different casseroles, all with different. The cheddar broccoli casserole is actually rather tasty.
And that's when you figure out you never realized it was so many type of casseroles.
Never in my life. Never in my life.
A fried chicken casserole.
Now you're just making stuff up. No, this is not even fair.
Seriously. So that was the whole purpose. Yes.
Gotcha. Can you explain the idea of renting floral arrangements? How does that work?
Yes. So how it happened is when the funeral director, you can either, one thing people don't realize, they have a choice to bring in their own accessories to a funeral. From the casket, you don't have to get a casket from the funeral home. You don't have to get flowers from the funeral home. You don't have to go through the vendors that the funeral home suggests, like florists and the floral shops and stuff like that. So how our company works, we're a vendor with certain funeral homes throughout Connecticut. It started in Texas, throughout Connecticut. So family have a choice to go with whatever vendor they want to. Our flowers, they are silk, artificial, but they're realistic. Or you can go through a realistic florist that have, real flowers, which is much more money. That's when you go into that $600 to $800 to $1,000 price range. The rental, they come to either our website, which is havenmemorableflowers.com, or we have a package, brochure at the funeral homes where they can pick like, I want package A, package B. We have our packages come and they all the same for $399. You get the casket spray that goes on top of the casket. You get 3 flowers that goes in the front, long vases that goes in the front of the casket, and 2 stands of flowers that goes on the side. So you have the whole package for only $399.
Yeah,
where you would have paid $800 to about $1,000 for all of that. And then we go in, we set up. Sometimes our guys, if they short staff with ushers and pallbearers, we do all of that. We just help, and that's no extra cost. And then we stay for the funeral, or we come back to the funeral when they bring the body out to the hearse, when it's time for the burial. Then we just take down, once everybody leave the church or the memorial hall or wherever they have in the ceremony, we break it down and we take it. And no one knew that it was a rental, because no one cares about the flowers. You go to the burial and there's flowers left in the church.
Right.
You paid $800, they go in the trash because the funeral directors have nothing to do with it. Or if it's left in the church that the church have to clean, they don't have nothing to do with it, so they're going into the dumpster. And you just wasted for 2 hours, $800 for what?
Yeah.
You just need it to look nice.
Is there a love-hate relationship you have with funeral directors?
No, I love them all. Because
word.
I love them all, but it teaches our community how to save money. We have to save money. You know, the funeral homes and the funeral, those are my vendors. And they also preach, you know, they help out with
That's good,
because everybody can't afford it. Everybody don't have a life insurance policy.
No.
So they let them know, you know what, this is the least expensive way where you can have a elaborate funeral and no one knew that you don't have a life insurance policy. Right. Everybody can come up, at least 3 family members can come up with $399, and you have the whole setup.
Right.
So that's our way of giving back to the community. That's our way of helping the community, and that's our way of teaching the community, stop wasting all these insurance policies. You know, we're not taught what to do with the insurance policies. We just taught emotions. Yeah. Give it all away for the funeral, and you have nothing left. 3 months later, you're like, okay, I'm still stuck with a funeral bill sometimes. You're still stuck.
Yeah. Still stuck with that. And all the relatives that swore they were going to help don't pick up the phones no more.
They sure don't.
They're like, yo, I got you. I was like, yo, can I get that in writing? Like, I need that in writing in triplicate. And I'm going to need you to do that in front of a notary.
Exactly. I'm telling you. But they're the first ones when the person passed away. They're the first ones that want to make decisions.
Oh yeah, all the time. It's so interesting because you know I've dealt with wedding and I've dealt with funeral. You know, and the amount of people that want to put their own opinion without putting their own dime in for both are really, really funny. You know, I can't sit next to this person. What do you mean you can't sit next to this person? This is 2 hours. You can sit down and you can shut the front door. You know, for real.
Exactly. It's not that it's serious, but it's not that serious. We're trying to bury our loved one and go out in peace. That's it. Go out in peace, make it look beautiful, so we can live the rest of our lives at peace and leave with a good memory. You know, and sometimes because the funeral is so fast, you're not left with the good memory. Because you see the casket is open and you're gone. It's so fast, you know. So and that's another thing. We're wasting money for 2 hours, you know, for 2 hours. And like I said, it has nothing to do with the funeral homes. It's the system itself.
Right.
You know, and it's about the people. It's everybody can eat, you know, everybody can eat. And let the family and the community and all these loved ones that stuck with these bills, let them survive. They're already stuck with, sometimes if a loved one passed away and they the husband or wife or the children, they're stuck with them bills still.
Yeah.
You know, so why get stuck with those bills and then on top of that, a funeral bill now added on?
Right. One that you have control over. Like you literally do have control over. And the more you have, it doesn't feel in a moment where you have literally no control because you've just lost someone super, super important to you.
Seriously.
And you're going through all of this emotional stuff and your whole world is going 900 million miles an hour and being the slowest at the same time.
Exactly.
You were sitting in this perfect conundrum of just emotion and nonsense. and then the logic of bills has to weave in through there, and there's no way to do it. So to have a service like this is so super super important.
Yes.
And I never looked at it as funeral directors were like car salesmen. They never extra added to the bill or extra added to the bill, but at the end of the day, it is a business as well.
It's a business.
This is a business that people have put their entire life and training behind, their college degrees that go through this. People don't even realize what it takes to be in that industry.
Exactly.
The investments that have to go in there. So that, money has to change hands, but this really is super important. And I love how the fact that it's to help show how important it is to save that money moving forward.
Exactly.
To save that little bit going through. I say it all the time to people who want to get married. I say, just go to the courthouse.
I'm telling you.
Pay your $75. Say what you got to say and go about your day. It's so much easier, have a party at your house and, get a keg and charge $5 for the keg. You're going to make the same.
And have it aired on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. The next question: how do you design floral arrangements that are both beautiful and intentional?
So sometimes another good thing, we customize our floral. If a person say, you know what, I don't like the different ones you have, our color scheme is orange, purple, lavender, we'll make it, and it's still a rental, no extra cost. So and then a lot of times it just comes to my head. I'm gifted. God have blessed me to be very talented in different aspects of my life, and I just do it. It just my hands. It just goes with the flow. And like I said, if we don't have the colors, we're gonna get the colors, and we're gonna make it whatever color theme, because funerals nowadays are color themes. So we're gonna make it the color theme, and it's still $399. It doesn't matter, because the next family that might like that color. So it one hand watches the other. It's like a community team effect, so I just love it. I love it. It just comes to me, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It does not matter what color. It does not matter. I'm going to get the color of the flowers, and I'm going to make it happen, whatever color. And it's still, like I said, $399 with delivery, set up, breaking down, nothing extra. Because everybody must eat.
Well, not only do everyone must eat, and those are so important, because I still remember leaving. One of the first funerals I went to was for my grandfather, and I remember leaving the funeral home to go to the burial site, and then be like, "What would you like us to do with the flowers?" I'm like 14 years old. I don't care what you do with the flowers. You can turn them sideways. I don't, what I mean?
Exactly.
So it doesn't really, it doesn't necessarily make sense.
Exactly.
So I love that aspect. And again, I love how it is that giving that back aspect of it, because they're there for the whole thing. There's nothing stranger than having to go back to the funeral home the day after
and collect flowers.
And collect flowers. You just saw your great Aunt Ida crying in the same room. Blubbering in the ugly cry.
Exactly.
And now you've got to go pick up the flowers, like you're doing the walk of shame on Halloween Eve.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
And then you wonder how many people go back and pick up the flowers. They really don't. You're like, I'm not going to no funeral home to go pick up no flowers, or the memorial hall, or wherever we had this service at. I'm not going back to go pick up no flowers. I'm in mourning. I'm not doing this.
Now, for the sense of comedy, because I love making light of every type of situation.
Yes.
But for the sense of comedy, have you ever had the person that just doesn't necessarily care? They're the last line of the relatives, and they're like, I don't care. They hated purple. Make sure everything's purple. You know what I mean?
You get that one. They in every family. You get that. They come in. It could be sometimes it's all the sisters. You get that one sister. My mom didn't like this. And then the rest of the sisters like, yes, they did. And everybody's looking at her like, look. Not just sit there, because what it is, you just gotta let them get it out, let it vent.
Right.
That's a family thing. And I'll sit there like,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what color are we gonna do?
Yes.
Everybody start ignoring that person that's irate. Like, you know what? We'll go outside somewhere.
What's the most memorable, no pun intended, moving arrangement you ever created?
For a child. Yeah, it was she was hit by a car.
Oh
Texas.
man.
Yeah. And that's another thing that comes with the flower. You're not just selling flowers or setting up packages. You're their counselor. You know, you're part of the counseling staff. You know, to help get through this, especially when it comes to the children. It's like, why, why, you know, and it's senseless. And that goes with road rage. It was road rage. You're going to the next light. Where are you going? Where are you going? You're going to the next light. You go so fast to get to the next light to go nowhere. And you killed someone just to get to a next light. Road rage, you know.
Can it be hard sometimes approaching each family's unique story and tailoring the floral artistry to honor it?
For me personally, no. Because like I said, I've been in the funeral business since I was like 18.
Right.
And I'm almost, well, we better edit this part out, but if not,
19. Almost 19. Almost 19.
You have a great legacy. You're building a great legacy.
You've been in for a year. You're almost 19.
You're doing a great legacy.
That's fine. So I'm sorry. You're 22.
That's right.
This way you can legally do everything you want to do.
There you go.
Yes. And I've always been a spontaneous person. So I just always, I don't know. I just, not really. Because I've always been into it. And I just always looked at life just differently. I looked at life like how people go, I got to get this materialistic stuff. It's materialistic stuff. You know, I always looked at life like that. Or people like, I get these Jordans. It's something that was made $3 in China somewhere.
Not even sometimes. It's crazy.
Even. Seriously, you know. So I always been that type of person looking on the flip side of things. Like, it's materialistic stuff. They're a vessel. They're a spirit. Let me help you get over this hump. You know, and I just love it. I love helping people. I love helping people look at a brighter side because it helps them when they get home. And like you had mentioned, Easy, it helped them with the family members and different things like that. You know, it helps. You know, and Preston mentioned it as well. It helps because if I can help you, you can help the kids in the house. That's their grandmothers, or you can help grandma that her husband that she's been married to for the last 70 years. You know, you can help if you have a right mind. So I just love helping people because it's just not about flowers. It's about we all getting through this together.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because you could have any type of relationship with the person. I remember when my great uncle passed away, the most time I ever spent with him was when he passed away. I was waiting for the coroner to pick him up.
Wow.
That was the most time I'd ever spent with him before in my entire life.
Wow.
You know, and he wasn't necessarily that great of a human being. I got to listen to his wife and my grandmother to talk about all his flaws while he was sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not comfortable. He's going to get up. Like, we should stop.
Yeah. Seriously. And they say funerals are like family reunions. You don't see the families until you're like, oh, I haven't seen you in about 25 years.
Yeah.
So funerals is definitely the new family reunions.
No, it definitely is.
Yes.
Funerals and weddings is where you can re-meet the family that you forgot about.
Exactly.
Do certain flowers hold symbolic or spiritual meaning?
They do to certain people. Certain flowers like tulips and carnations, and they all have a meaning. Each flower have a meaning.
Okay.
Again, but to me, the meaning is within you.
Okay.
You know, I always was the type of person that goes left when everybody going right. If you say this is what this flower means, I'm going to tell you it means something different. Because that's not what that person was. So, but I like that flower, and it's who they were, and that's what it means.
Right.
So definitely in society, yes, each flower has meaning.
Which flowers for which culture?
Or different cultures. Just
okay.
You can't pinpoint it.
All right.
culture just has their own type of flowers. Each culture do more type of flowers than other cultures. Other cultures specify you cannot do without flowers.
Yeah.
Well, we have a choice. Other cultures, you better have flowers. Like there's no way around it. You got to have flowers.
Now, why do you think that is so? Because I look at it as when you're seeing death, you're seeing the end of life, and flowers are usually one of those things that bring us to the point of rebirth, relife, and different aspects of it. But is there a particular reason why flowers are so important in the cultural aspect of passing of the loved ones?
I believe it's just a culture thing.
Okay.
Again, to me, what you was taught, cultures are passed down just like religion is passed down, and this is what it is, and this is what they say it is, and it's just a cultural thing, and what you was taught and what they say it is and what they say is what it's going to be. Okay. Until someone come along and be like, look, who said this? Just like they say you can't wear white after Labor. Who said that?
Right. Yeah. Who made up that rule? Who made up the rule? It's so interesting because it reminds me of Derrida's Grammatology, a book that was literally written to disprove language. Yeah. And the main basic meaning behind the book is what made CAT cat. Somebody told you that CAT was cat. What makes that person any smarter than you? Exactly. Maybe CAT actually means dog. So I love the book. I threw it against the wall like 900 times because it gets so frustrating because he uses language to disprove language, and you never want to throw something more in your entire life.
Seriously.
But it was such a good read when I was done.
And that's just society. What they say it is, that's what it's supposed to be, and that's what we train ourselves of. That's what it is. But who said so? Who said so?
What kind of feedback you received from families who've worked with you?
They love the concept, like how you guys are mentioning, because when you're in the funeral, it's not like it's closed where we taught of what to do or different things in life we taught what to do. Funerals are unexpected. You only might go through it, hopefully maybe twice, maybe 3 times, a mother, father, whatever, or a cousin that you will really have hands-on. We go to funerals all the time, but you don't have hands-on with dealing the behind-the-scenes stuff.
The behind-the-scenes stuff is twisted.
Yeah, it's twisted. In our personal lifetime, we only go through personal behind-the-scenes making arrangements maybe about 3 times. The first time you're just lost. The second time you're like, okay, I got it mapped out. The third time you're like, oh, okay, look, I don't want this, that. Look, I'm going to rent that. I'm going to do that. But for that first time, you get everything. I want that because they sell you the world. They tell you you're gonna make your loved one go away with style, and they would want this for their loved one. And like I said, by the second and third time, you're like, okay, that speech not gonna fly with me. I just want this.
Right. Well, it's kind of like being a parent. The first child, know, if the pacifier falls on the floor, you run over real quick, you boil it in water, you got to make sure it's disinfected. By the third child, it falls on the floor, you kick it up with your foot and it goes back in the you put it in your mouth first to get all the dust off. Wipe it off, and then you put it in your kid's mouth. Exactly. So, it's pretty much very similar to that. And I actually love that because, these lessons that you're giving to the community as per how they can save and in these really, really dark moments can translate to some of the lighter times where they can save that as well. Because look, if I'm not spending that $800 on the flowers for Mima's passing, I'm spending $400, which is half that price.
Yep.
That, I can now look at it and be like, hey, I need to get this for myself. Do I need to get the $400 version, or could I get a $200 version?
Exactly.
How does this actually affect my life, and how does it move forward? And it's tough in the world of capitalism, or as I like to say, soon to be post-capitalism. It's definitely an interesting world. How do you go through? Because you have that $3.99 strict barrier. How are you able to do all of this for $3.99?
Because I'm not repurchasing flowers compared to being a florist. You have to constantly buying new flowers every day. I'm not. Right. They're rentals, just like a U-Haul. It's rental.
Mm-hmm.
Fill it up with gas, go to the next person. Fill it up with
Right.
gas, go to the next person. And that's how I'm able to save on the back end and save families money so
Right.
they don't have to, you know.
Right.
And it's just the whole, like you said, the whole concept of it's just for show. It's like
Mm-hmm.
the wedding. It's for people. It's for the people.
Right.
It's like a wedding. It's between husband and wife. It's for
Right.
our communion. It's for our togetherness. It's for our ceremony. All the 100 people that we invited and have to get dinner and the meals and the reception and the dance and the wedding gown and the lighting and the flowers and all this other stuff. Now you're paying $30,000 for a wedding, and you better hope the wedding lasts.
Word, $30,000 for $100,000 divorce. It doesn't.
Seriously,
You know, you're like, what happened here? It's now cost me $130,000 to try to find my happiness, and I'm brokenhearted and broke. Like, this is nonsense.
And it always boils back down to the money, money, saving money, you know. And a lot of times people want, you know, a piece of America. They want the piece of the land. They want a piece of the rock. And they don't have the money for a down deposit on the house.
Right.
Oh, mom and them just passed away. We just paid all this money in the funeral. Now we don't have you had $10,000. You had the closing costs.
Right.
That's where we come in at. We're going to teach you what you don't have to get, what's not that serious. Right. Save that extra money for the mandatory stuff that you need at the funeral homes, like right. the pallbearers, if you need pallbearers, if you don't have a big family members, you know, the funeral directors that have to perform the funeral, you know, different things. Use that money for what's the mandatory need that you're going to need for the funeral. You know, don't waste the extra on accessories when you don't have to.
Charnika, do you hope this model of affordable intentional farewells will spread nationally?
I do. I really do. That's the whole concept of us. We have to each one teach one, you know. And like I tell people, because we specialize in Connecticut, we're Connecticut, we go no matter what funeral home is in Connecticut, we're going. And that's another thing. I don't care where you at. If you're in Connecticut, it's still $3.99. It doesn't matter. We're coming. We're going to be on the scene. We're coming, you know. So I do hope this spread worldwide, nationally, because if you're not renting from us, go find somebody where you can rent flowers from. Ask these questions. A person that's going through the funeral, we only know real flowers. We only know we have to go to a florist after we make arrangements. So if I can teach a family, the next family, to come out their mouth and say, while they making arrangements at the funeral home, do you rent flowers? That's what this is all about. I need people to start saying, do you rent flowers? You know, because you're not going to use it, like you were saying. You're not going to use it after the funeral.
Yeah, you're not going to use it after. And also, I just came up with a great merch idea. That should be a T-shirt for you.
Okay.
Just do you rent flowers on the front of it, and then on the back it says Haven Memorial Flowers with your number with just the .com.
Yes.
Right there.
Yes,
boom.
Yes.
Moving T-shirts, getting that phrase out there, because that phrase is so super important. Do you rent flowers? Stuff we don't necessarily ask, you know.
Yes.
And I'm a dude, so like I rent my tuxedo for the wedding. I rent my tuxedo for the prom, where you know, where your significant other will pay for you know a $10,000 gown that they could have got for $4.99.
Exactly.
You know, so it's so super interesting, and I love that fact, and I love that you have this medium. Where do you see it evolving to next? Do you see it just staying in the memorable aspect of things, or do you see, say, classes moving forward to help with the financial growth and to deal with generational?
So I see it just educating people. Like I said, I'm older now, so the smaller the better. But the word of mouth, I want to be. Like I said, I don't want to branch outside of Connecticut, but if it's God willing, we'd be in other states. But I want to educate Connecticut. This is home. This is home base. We have to start. It's like most people, like our family members, or they'll help the outside community before they help home.
Yeah.
We have to help home first before we can even think about the outside states. you know. And if we in Connecticut could help, just start saying, can I rent flowers? The things that we don't know what to rent, you know, we never thought about it. You know, can I rent? Can I rent this? Can I rent a pallbearer? You can, you know, and people don't know these things, that you can rent a lot of things in a funeral, and all you need is just basically the funeral director is to do the funeral and bury it.
Right. So interesting. You can rent pallbearers. I see that kind of like on what are those the job search sites? You know, kind of like Uber.
They are up there. They're up there.
Like an Uber or Lyft.
Awesome. Yeah, you know, Uber or Lyft. But like, I guess it would be a new Lyft, really, if you really think about it.
Like, literally a Lyft. Literally.
Super
literally a Lyft.
Yes, you can rent pallbearers because a lot of people don't have family. So you definitely go look it up. That's another thing. Pallbearers for hire. Yeah.
Learn all this knowledge on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Charnika Robinson with Haven Memorable Flowers is with us today. What would success look like for you beyond profits?
People mindsets. People mindsets. That's it. When you change the mind, you change the way someone live. And when you change the way someone live, they will live comfortable and we won't struggle no more.
Right.
We're coming to a close very soon, but I want to give this very time to you, Charnika. Please be selfish with your promotion. Give Instagram, any kind of social media, any events you want to give out that you probably will be doing to educate the community about what you do. And this time is yours. Go ahead, and also plug up the website too. Go ahead.
So we are Haven Memorable Flowers. We are on 60 Connolly Parkway in Hamden, Connecticut, Suite 202. Our telephone number is 475-365-8158. If you need to do a flower viewing, if you have a funeral coming up, just give us a call. We can make an appointment for you. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Look us up, Haven Memorable Flowers. It doesn't change. We also have a website, havenmemorableflowers.com. And again, that's havenmemorableflowers.com. And again, you can look us up on all the social networks. We're still looking to branch out on even more because they keep on coming out with new socials, new social sites. So we want to be up there, but just look us up, Haven Memorable Flowers. We are also, again, our packages are $3.99 no matter what color. If you don't have the color, they're $399 for the package. That doesn't matter the time. We're 24 hours a day. If you need help just getting through the funeral, what to do or what not to do, or just assistance. It might not have to do with flowers. It just have to do with assistance of what do I need? Can I rent this? Can I not rent that? Haven Memorable Flowers, we will assist you with whatever needs you may have, because it's about each one, teach one. Again, no matter the color, if you have a color scheme, $399. We have so many different packages. Look us up. We'll make it happen for you. We come on a scene, no matter where you at in Connecticut, we're coming for $399, and we will get your funeral set up right.
Charnika, I love your personality. My last question for you. You're very welcome. If anyone wants to go in a similar route as yours or prospective career, just as you do, what would you say to them?
Do it. Do whatever floats your boat. Do whatever makes you happy. Do whatever you want to do in life. You know, people might not understand the concept. That's why they say sometimes God give you a talent, or God give you a wisdom, or God give you a key to go do something. And they say it's not for everyone to go. It's just for you. So sometimes you got to hush your mouth and just do it, because you'll get distracted when you do tell people the things, your goals of what you want to do. And because they cannot see the concept, they'll tear you down mentally, verbally, and not even realizing it because they haven't experienced it. So because they haven't experienced it, they're going to say what's human. Oh, I don't see that happening. Or I don't believe in that. Or why you want to do that? You know, now you like, you know what? let me change it up. But if God gave it to you, you do it. It's just like a store. You might have 100 hair stores on the same block, but you be different in marketing. You be different in your promotions. You be different in caring about people, and you will shine. So no matter if you can, if so many other people want to do rental flowers, you can best believe having memorable flowers will come out on top because we care about the people. It's not about the money. It's about the education. And if we can help you save that life insurance policy and making you think of how to spend that money so you can have money left over, just in case if you want to get married one day or have kids and now you need a closing course, you don't stash that $10,000 extra that you have from the life insurance money.
Charnika, thank you very much. Your personality is awesome. I love it. And I hope everybody can get educated on what you do because you can save a lot of lives and pockets.
Yes.
On WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven, myself, Preston, and my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, Mr. EZ BlueZ. We appreciate everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Haven Memorable Flowers. Check us out.
Wondering what to write about, trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just a scout? I don't know.